The New England Patriots are historically bad. Let me explain though, all right? The Patriots took on a very injured Dolphins team at home yesterday and lost. They lost 15-10. They scored 10 whole points at home against the Miami Dolphins team. This Dolphins team is not that good. No Tua Tagovailoa, and Devon Achane went down with an injury halfway through the game. It's very disappointing as a Patriots fan watching this team. After watching Tom Brady for my entire life, now I'm watching Jacoby Brissett play quarterback, and it pains me to the core. It's not because I was privileged watching Tom Brady that I don't like Brissett. It's because he is awful. He is the worst quarterback this franchise has ever seen. It took him almost 4 whole quarters to throw over 100 yards passing. And it's not like he didn't pass the ball very much. He threw over 30 times. Over 30 passes to break 100 yards passing is terrible. Now, how the fuck is that possible? It's because all he does when he drops back is he'll look, dump off to Ramondre Stevenson in the backfield for -2 yards. He is way too scared to throw the ball downfield. And it's so apparent. I've never seen a quarterback fail at being a quarterback. He's doing the opposite of what a quarterback does. A lot of people kind of played it off as offensive line issues, which is true. Our offensive line was pretty terrible for the first part of the season. But yesterday, they was okay. It was all right. Brissett is just so hesitant. He'll sit there, he'll pump fake a couple times, he'll be like, what do I do with the ball, right? And then he'll throw an incomplete pass, he'll throw it late, or he'll do his dump off. He plays it incredibly safe. He's scared to lose his job, and he'll play the safe. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, in his eyes, he can't lose his quarterback job, okay? Go fuck yourself. If Drake May is not the quarterback next week, I am not watching the game. Not at all. Gerard Mayo had the balls after our loss to the 49ers. He had the balls to come and say, Brissett is our quarterback until further notice. Go, fuck you. It doesn't help that Gerard Mayo, as a rookie head coach, has to make the safe choices so that he doesn't risk his job, right? If he were to instantly bench Brissett, then what was the point of bringing Brissett in to ease in Drake May? But Drake May, he can easily replicate, or at minimum, Drake May can replicate what Brissett has done easily. Easily. He can throw 34 passes and at least have 100 yards passing. I promise you. The only thing that is risky about Drake May is that he might turn the ball over a couple times. He might look bad, but he will perform better than Brissett. Brissett doesn't necessarily look bad. He just is bad at playing quarterback. He's not throwing interceptions. He's not turning the ball over. He is just making the safe dump-offs, the safe plays, so he doesn't turn the ball over. But we go 3 and out every play. So how are we going to win football games that way? Gerard Mayo is talking about, we still think Brissett is our best chance at winning football games. How the fuck are we going to win a football game barely throwing 100 yards, and our run game is terrible? Ramondre Stevenson had a fumble issue, whatever. Gibson gets 4 carries and he'll have like a 10-yard run. And that's it. Stevenson either gets -10 yards or he'll have 11. And usually it's the -2 yards. We cannot run the ball very efficiently. And you would think with a veteran quarterback, you would run the ball a good amount and you'll be able to move this ball. But no. So, not only can we not run the ball, but we cannot move the ball downfield via passing because Brissett is a fucking dweeb. He's a pussy at quarterback. He didn't look this bad when he was playing for, like, the Colts or the Browns. He comes back to New England and is just so conservative, so hard to watch. Because never in my life would I think I would rather watch the Patriots play defense than offense. I would much rather watch us play defense. It's not like the Dolphins overpowered us to win this game. The defense was shitting on the Dolphins we were winning the whole game. But because our offense can't stay on the field for more than one set of chains, the defense is getting tired, and then this fucking no-name running back is just running right through us. They ran the ball like 10 times in a row, and we could not stop them. Maybe it's because we have no Juwan Bentley, we had no Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers, by the way, strangled the guy and did cocaine on Saturday. awesome. Just a great revelation for this team. I'm so happy. Our defense is hurt, but we were still playing really good. We only gave up 15 points. At the end of the day, you have to win that fucking football game. You're at home against an injured Dolphins team, and your defense held them to 15 points while injured. How will we not? We need to fucking score. What makes you think what Brissett is doing is helping us win football games? He is not putting us in a place to score points. Our wide receiver core is not as bad as everyone's saying. They can get open. Brissett just cannot get them the ball. And you're telling me that you don't think Drake May is ready? You think Drake May cannot do what Brissett's doing? That is low-key offensive. Offensive to this man. Even if Drake May could come in and throw 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions, but he'll throw 220 yards. At least have some excitement for this offense. Someone who'll throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield. Brissett is not even throwing 10 yards per attempt. No way. I haven't stat checked it. I watched the games, okay? This team realistically has no offensive identity with Brissett. It's a bunch of guys go run out, and we'll have some guy as an easy dump off. So Brissett looks at, oh, nobody's open right in 0.3 seconds. Let me dump this off to Gibson, and we'll get like 2 yards. That is our entire offensive scheme. It's terrible. 3rd and 15, screen pass. What is that going to do? Van Pelt has been terrible. There's been like probably 2 times where I'm like, that was a good play call. Other than that, nothing. I mean, I can't even criticize him because I don't know if it's his play calls or if it's Brissett just not throwing the fucking ball. Outside of my hatred towards Jacoby Brissett and what he is doing to my team, Christian Gonzalez is fucking elite. Clamping down Tyreek Hill a majority of the game, except for maybe a couple big passes downfield. I don't even know if that was his fault, if it was them in a zone, so it doesn't really count or whatnot. But Tyreek was basically baiting the fuck out of Huntley to throw the ball his way. The one time Gonzalez was guarding Odell, clamped the shit out of him, got an interception off of it, and then in the red zone, he dropped an interception while clamping Tyreek Hill. It's impressive what he's doing. He somehow dropped to us in the first round, 2023. I was very surprised that he was still there. We needed secondary help, and he comes in and instantly takes off the number 1 receiver. It pretty much locks him out of the game, which is very helpful when you're trying to win football games. The only issue is I would have more appreciation if our offense would then take those big stops and then go score the football, but we cannot. So basically, all I want to say, Gerard Mayo, grow some balls. Make your own call. Don't make the safe play that everyone expects you to make, which is keep the veteran quarterback until Drake May develops, whatever. Because I don't know what more Drake May needs to develop to then outperform Brissett. Okay, there's no way you're watching practices and you're like, I don't think Drake May could throw over 100 yards passing in 34 attempts. Okay, Drake May could go out there and shit himself, and I'll still enjoy it more than watching Brissett play quarterback. I would rather see Drake May throwing interceptions, bombing it 50 yards downfield, throwing post routes, something to try and help us move this ball and possibly score, than watch Brissett settle on a 3rd and 24, dumping it off to Gibson. Fuck out of here, bro. It's like he doesn't even want to win the game. He just wants his stat line not to look terrible, which it still does if you know anything about football. Okay, let me just finish this off with a little bit of reason. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett came into a situation where he was going to be the mentor and the bridge piece for Drake May to inevitably take over the franchise. And his job is realistically to hold us afloat while Drake May develops in whatever way they're like trying to develop him. I really don't understand the concept of that. I'm not much of a believer of someone developing without seeing any action. I understand there's a lot of knowledge about football that is important to learn. And I guess Jacoby Brissett can teach him those things. Let's not act like Jacoby Brissett has that much knowledge to pass down to Drake May. He's never been an elite guy. He's just one of those guys that comes in, gives you 4 or 5 wins, and then gets the fuck out of there. And that's really what I was expecting with the season. 5 wins at most. And Honestly, I wasn't going to be that upset. It's a bridging season, but this team is on pace to do a lot worse than that, which just sucks. Like, I need something to cheer about this season. Usually when you have these bridging seasons, you at least see the development of some young guys. Like, I would love to see guys like Demario Douglas and Jalen Polk just like become these up-and-coming guys that have some explosive plays during the season. But when Brissett is not throwing the ball down the field, that opportunity just cannot happen. And in my opinion, if you're not progressing any other aspect of your football team while you wait for your quarterback to develop, then having a bridging guy means absolutely nothing. Might as well just throw the rookie out there. Like, there's absolutely no purpose for this vet guy to come in and do the exact same thing the rookie would be doing. It just makes no sense. And in this game in particular, you're going up against a handicapped Dolphins team, and you would think, okay, this is the game that the vet should go out and win for the team. But Brissett just looks like a fucking moron out there. I bet you 85% of backup quarterbacks would have won that game, but Brissett just shit himself. So I just think that if this game doesn't tell Gerard Mayo that he's like, all right, fuck it, throw the rookie in because this is just awful, then I don't know what will. I did look at his stat line. He had 160 yards passing, but that 60 yards was inflated on that final drive. Big pass to Hunter Henry for a big gain, and it really meant nothing anyway, so inflated stats, basically. If you watch the game, you know this man barely had 100 when the game was actually a contest. And that last real drive where that Polk touchdown should have happened, yes, I think that rule is stupid and makes the game really boring when you look at the context of it. But we really should not have been in that situation in the first place. There's no reason we should have only had 10 points against this Miami team, and there's no reason only giving up 15 points to this Dolphins team leads in a loss. That is just fucking blasphemy. So Mayo, please make the decision of starting Drake May. I don't care how bad he performs. I don't care anything. At least we're seeing progress in what is supposed to be our future. If you think this guy is going to come in and be our franchise guy, get him the fuck in, get in some reps. This is the season to do it because we have no hopes of winning the playoffs now because you decided to start Brissett in a game that would have brought us to second place in the division. This was a big game. The Bills lost, the Jets lost. This would have brought us up to second place. But now we're 1-4, and we're looking at the number 1 pick in the draft. Thank you so much, Gerard Mayo. Apparently, this game was not important to you whatsoever. What was important was making the very safe decision in a guy who's not going to make your team look retarded, okay? Thank you. Other than the Patriots talk, I did wake up at 9:30 in the morning and watch the London game between the Jets and the Vikings. I have some things to say about that. Sam Darnold really looked back to normal this game. The first quarter, I will say Darnold was looking good, evading the blitz, kind of stepping up, making big throws. Jefferson, the dude who sped, I forget his name, Jordan Addison, but outside of that, after that, the Jets was really pressuring him, and he really was just throwing the ball. He was just throwing it anywhere he could. Let me look at my notes. Hold on. Jefferson had 14 targets and only 6 catches. That, I don't think, is on Jefferson. I did watch the game. There was a lot of balls that were not really catchable. He was double covered or whatnot. He was just kind of throwing it his direction and hoping he was going to make a play on it. And I also put a note saying spray and pray. That was the definition. But yeah, Sam Darnold just looked like kind of like a mediocre quarterback. He didn't look terrible, but he didn't look as good as he has been. He got a lot of reps throwing the ball, but wasn't really making a lot of things happen. Also, doesn't help that they were turning the ball over on some stupid shit. They weren't very effective running the ball because Aaron Jones did go out pretty early on in the game. But on the other side, the Jets have a lot of issues we have to talk about because ultimately, the Vikings won this game. Aaron Rodgers played like ass, okay? He played terribly. I know a lot of people will protect this man and surround him with all the you can't talk bad about this man. This is Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about one of the most elite ball throwers we've ever seen. His skill at throwing the ball is crazy. He'll take a step back, he'll go like this, and he'll go 15 yards. Like, he just effortlessly places balls perfectly. No pause intended. But he had 2 first quarter picks, and one of them was really bad. He was trying to force this ball into, I think, Mike Williams. It was kind of like a post route. I think, this is all off memory, he overthrew him by like 10 yards. It was really bad. It was an easy pick by the safety. I don't know if it was Harrison Smith or whatnot, but it was somebody back there. He ended up having 3 interceptions total. I don't remember the third one, but he threw the ball 54 times. 54! And only completed 29 of them for 53% completion percentage. There is no reason Aaron Rodgers should be throwing the ball 54 times. He is above 40 years old. Throwing the ball 54 times is ridiculous. That means he is under pressure all those times and almost died this game, let me tell you. He was crawling on the ground like he got knocked in Fortnite. And I thought he was going to be out, honestly. It looked really bad. The slow motion, he landed awkwardly on his leg. He screamed in agony when it happened, but because he does Percocets, he was fine. Breece Hall was terrible. He is still struggling. He had like 1 or 2 good runs, but other than that, I'm watching these handoffs and I'm like, no wonder this guy is throwing 54 times. He's getting stopped dead in his tracks right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if I should blame Breece Hall for being bad or if they just literally cannot get the run game going. Like, they can't block. I really don't know. I'm kind of siding towards the inability to block. If they get that going, I feel like they'll be better and they'll probably win some more games. Obviously, I mean, I feel like every grandma in America could make that assumption. I don't know if it's a effort thing or if they literally don't have the skills. I figured the Jets' offensive line was actually pretty good, especially Breece Hall last year had a good season before he got hurt. I don't know what's going on. Garrett Wilson, 22 targets, 13 catches. All I have jotted down as a note is elite. Garrett Wilson is fucking elite. He is getting open for this man, Rodgers. He is making plays, scoring touchdowns. I love this guy. For fantasy-wise and just watching him, good route runner, quick, gets open. That's all you could ever want from a man, your number 1 receiver. You feel me? This man just gets open. He runs. He's not running these elaborate routes, but he is getting open. He is finding the hole. He's getting open. Him and Rodgers, for the most part, are on the same wavelength. Very much. The rest of the receiving core, I can't really say that. Rodgers, a couple times, was throwing the ball like to nobody. Mostly because Mike Williams, on one of the attempts, literally stopped running his route for some reason. Either he got jammed at the line or he's like, I'm not getting open off this. It just stopped. Even though these receivers on paper look pretty solid, like getting Mike Williams on this team was really nice. I thought that was a big play coming in the offseason off of his ACL injury, actually, last year. He was a big bomb threat. I had him in fantasy in my flex spot. He saved me a couple weeks. I love the guy. But he just kind of seems off ever since he's been playing here. Maybe he's being asked a little too much, especially with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. Maybe the schemes are a little bit too elaborate for a man who just gets deep bombs. I don't know. But Allen Lazard continues to be the guy. Other than Garrett Wilson, the only receiver I have praise for is Allen Lazard. Anytime they needed a big pickup, he was there. And I think it stems back to the Packers days. They just have that chemistry. You feel me? This defense did really good in the second half. At the beginning, the Vikings were moving the ball really well. But after that, this defense was pretty locked down, other than Sauce Gardner getting a little touchy, even though some people say that the refs were kind of on his ass for no reason. If they're calling it, they're calling it. So you really have to adapt to how the refs are calling things during the game, you know? But there was like 3 straight plays that in the red zone that just kept the Vikings alive, and they ultimately end up scoring on that drive. That's fine, though. Things happen. A little undisciplined, but I feel like the whole game was very undisciplined. There was a lot of flags. I guess they want to show themselves out in London. This is a big event for them. They want to talk a lot, whatever. I know this is very ambitious, but I do think Devontae Adams would fit very well here. Garrett Wilson being a secondary guy would be fantastic. He's a guy, basically, you could play very well in the slot. And then you got Davante Adams on the line up on the outside for the bigger routes. Nobody better in the league, to be honest, other than maybe Justin Jefferson. But Davante Adams as a route runner is fucking disgusting. Even outside of Green Bay, when he was playing with the Raiders, Derek Carr as his quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo was his quarterback, he was still getting his numbers, low key, even though those quarterbacks played awful while he was there, and that's why he wants to be traded, because he's frustrated with the quarterback play. If he reunites with Aaron Rodgers, even though it's cliche, oh, I want to go play with Rodgers again, even though it's cliche, I do think they would benefit highly off of having Davante Adams there. Kind of takes the weight off of Garrett Wilson's shoulders. Ability to, he won't really get as much of the coverages. He'll be kind of open to make some plays. I feel like that would boost his play tremendously. And obviously, Davante Adams being reunited with somebody who could actually throw him the football would be awesome. For a little bit of clarification, obviously, adding Davante Adams to your roster is a benefit to your offense. I'm just saying in this setting, it just fits really well. Garrett Wilson being able to play the slot and make plays inside, while Davante Adams on the outside is making plays, bigger threats, stuff like that down the field. I just think together they work really well. That's really it. NFL predictions are probably going to start up next week. I just kind of needed to get into a rhythm and doing this whole show thing. But if you like this, where I'm just kind of like yapping about the games I watched, let me know. If there's something important to talk about from a team that like I have thoughts and opinions on, I will do it. I'll write notes down in this book here. So easy. I can ramble about sports for hours, okay? Follow my Twitter if you want to see I kind of live tweet during games and such. Feel free to comment opinions and have some discourse. The only thing I'm not going to allow is attacking people for their opinions. Let's have a calm discussion about sports. That's what I'm making this show about, all right? That's what I want to build here, all right? So no being a fucking douchebag, all right? But anyways, I'll see you in a few days.
Hi, kitty cat. Hi.
It's a rainy day.
I got the Tatums on. You feel me?
Now, Jacoby, I want you to witness this. Throw the fucking ball.